This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. China implemented drastic lockdown measures after the coronavirus outbreak, but it got the virus under control, and now its economy is opening again and doing much better than other countries. Because of that success, a government official said China may come close to reaching the same vehicle production and sales numbers it did last year. In 2019, the country built 25.7 million units and sold 25.8 million passenger and commercial vehicles. And another official said vehicle ownership in the country could hit 280 million vehicles this year. And for comparison, there were a little over 111 million registered vehicles in the U.S. as of 2018. One of the few bright spots in the U.S. economy right now is with new car sales. They're coming back stronger than expected. And to put an exclamation point on that, AutoNation, the largest dealer group in the country, just reported record third-quarter profits. But it was mainly the result of aggressive cost cutting, such as slashing advertising and laying off employees. Revenue was actually down a bit for the quarter, but thanks to cost cutting, its net profits were up 83%. A lot of electrified models will be hitting the market over the next few years, which means we're going to need a lot more batteries. So to keep pace, LG Chem announced it's tripling production capacity for cylindrical cells, like those used by Tesla, and it's eyeing the US and Europe for the expansion. Interestingly, the company also said it's developing a new form factor for its cylindrical cells that would have 5 times more energy density and 6 times as much power. But it didn't say how it achieved the gains. LG Chem posted record third-quarter profits and is forecasting more growth from its battery sales in the fourth quarter.
The world is changing at an ever-increasing pace. No matter what the mode of transportation, there is always the need for an efficient propulsion system. And that's exactly what BorgWarner has been doing since the earliest days of the automotive industry.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
There's been a lot of activity with autonomous vehicles lately, and now Ford and Argo AI have introduced their 4th generation test vehicle. Unlike the previous generations, which were modified Fusion hybrids, the 4th gen model is an Escape hybrid. We wonder if that's because Ford is dropping out of the sedan market. But the Escape hybrid model features new long-range LiDAR with higher resolution cameras, and improved radar sensors. Near-field cameras and short-range LiDAR have been added to the front side of the vehicle, and a similar setup is equipped at the rear, which keeps track of what's going on ahead, to the side, and behind the vehicle. Engineers modified the Escape hybrid's battery with more cells to help power the self-driving system. The new model also features an improved sensor cleaning system to keep them free of rain, dirt, and other debris so they can see properly. Ford is testing the autonomous vehicles throughout the U.S. in Austin, Detroit, Miami, Palo Alto, Pittsburgh, and Washington, D.C. And in other autonomous news, Tesla rolled out its full self-driving beta update to a limited number of owners. Elon Musk confirmed the update in a tweet and said the rollout will be extremely slow and cautious. Not many details about its capability are known at this point, but Electric reports that it's expected to improve upon its traffic light and stop sign control feature to include turns and intersections. Combined with its Navigate on Autopilot, vehicles would technically be able to drive on both main roads and the highway. General Motors officially unveiled the GMC Hummer EV last night, and while we're going to get more details later today, here's what we know for now. The launch edition is going to cost $112,595. The base version will start at just under $80,000, but it will not be out until the spring of 2024. The launch edition has 1,000 horsepower, 11,500 pound-feet of torque, and a 0 to 60 time of about 3 seconds. The latest version of Super Cruise is available with automated lane changes when the driver selects the turn signal. Four-wheel steering will improve the handling and turning radius of this big truck. A large battery pack provides over 350 miles of driving range, and it's also capable of 800-volt DC charging up to 350 kilowatts, which can provide 100 miles of range in 10 minutes of charging. It has massive ground clearance thanks to standard 35-inch tires. And if that's not enough for you, it'll fit up to 37-inch tires on the stock setup. And just to be on the safe side, it has what they call extract mode that uses the adaptive air suspension system to raise the vehicle another 6 inches. There are 18 video cameras that give you a lot of different ways to view the vehicle while driving, including front and rear views under the vehicle, which give a great look at the underbody protection. Crab walk is a mode you can select to take advantage of the four-wheel steering to move the Hummer diagonally if you get caught in a really tight off-road situation. And just to make sure your friends and neighbors stop to stare, the 6-bar grille lights up with a dramatic flare and provides an animated light show that indicates when you're approaching, walking away, or while it's charging up. GM is going to provide us with more information later today, and we'll make sure you see it in tomorrow's show.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, your journey, our passion. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And by Borg-Warner, propulsion solutions that support a clean energy-efficient world.
In the first half of the year, Europe produced 3.6 million fewer vehicles, which cost automakers $118 billion because of shutdowns related to the coronavirus. And new vehicle registrations in the region are also expected to drop by 25% this year. But at the same time, Europe is moving ahead with stricter emission regulations and harsher penalties for automakers that miss targets. Because of this, FCA CEO Mike Manley is calling on the EU to support automakers' transition to electric vehicles, because he says COVID is the, quote, biggest single risk ever to face our industry. Manley says automakers have to invest even more to meet emission targets, but they can't do it alone. In order for EVs to become more common, he says all EU countries need to expand EV charging networks and offer incentives to purchase electric vehicles. And you'll probably remember that FCA has worked out a deal to buy carbon credits from Tesla so it can avoid big fines this year. The future of several of Volkswagen's brands are back in limbo again. Reuters reports that the automaker is conducting a 5-year review to determine what it will do with Bugatti, Ducati, and Lamborghini. It's even hosting talks with potential buyers for Ducati to see what it could get for the brand, but nothing is official yet. Sources say the review could result in partnerships, a restructuring of the brands, or an outright sale. And here's our Autoline insight. We know VW has to somehow raise cash for its massive push into electrification, but it also just plunked down about $3.7 billion to buy out truck maker Navistar. Maybe one of these brands will be used to pay off that debt. The red-hot compact crossover segment just got a little more crowded. Nissan unveiled the Magnite, which is a cross between the words magnetic and ignite. And one of the first things you might notice is no V-motion grille. It's more of a hexagonal shape and a little less aggressive looking. But Nissan added some meanness back in there with thin LED lighting that features crisp lines. A similar hexagonal shape to the grille is reflected in the air vents of the cabin, which really stands out from the rest of the interior design that is otherwise rather simplistic. Under the hood is an all-new 1-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder that Nissan claims is one of the most powerful engines in its class. The Magnite is scheduled to first launch in India early next year, followed by other markets after that. Be sure to join us for Autoline After Hours tomorrow, when industry expert and consultant Paul Eichenberg will be on the show, as well as Daron Levine from Seeking Alpha. And with that, we wrap up today's show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.